In this video, we're gonna cover 14 insanely powerful YouTube growth hacks. Hacks that can help you start a channel and immediately gain traction, or give a massive momentum boost to an existing channel you're running. It doesn't matter what gear you have, what editing software you use, or what niche you're in. These are universal laws of attraction when it comes to growing online with video. My name's Anthony Gallo from ContentCreator.com. Let's dive into it. Okay, so I've broken down these 14 hacks or tips into 3 categories: planning, shooting, and editing. Up first for planning, you need to understand the triple threat combo of the title, the thumbnail, and the hook of your video. 80% of your initial success on YouTube is dependent on these 3 things: your ability to stop the scroll, which is done with your thumbnail. Up next, you need to convince a person you're worth clicking on, which is done by the title. And then third, you build the excitement in your hook to keep them watching. And if there were 2 words to live by right when you're starting, it would be to build curiosity. Think of the title of this video: 14 filmmaking hacks to improve your YouTube videos. It attaches to the goal you likely have, which is better YouTube videos, and then builds the curiosity by painting these magical 14 hacks. The people who click are those that just couldn't go on without learning those 14 hacks. The thumbnail then builds on that curiosity by showing you something you want, which is growth on YouTube, with a question mark to the point where views really went up for us. And then the opening hook in the video reaffirms that you're gonna get what you came for while still building that curiosity, because we hype up the hacks that you're about to learn. In this video, we're gonna cover 14 insanely powerful YouTube growth hacks. Tip number 2 is actually what I'm doing right now. It's to know your style and plan accordingly. Success on YouTube is all about knowing your audience, what they want, and giving the exact thing that they want to them. For me personally, I've found scripting out my videos allows me to challenge all of the ideas that I have and really ask myself, is this something that will keep the viewer engaged? By seeing it all on paper, I'm easily able to eliminate 90% of the ideas that people won't really care about. This means our content has 0 fluff, it increases our retention rates, which means the algorithm is gonna show our content to more people. Tip number 3 is a big one, and it will turn YouTube into a profit machine for you 10 times faster than what most people experience. And I promise after this one, we're gonna get more into the filmmaking specific tips. Create your own monetization as soon as you can. Even if making a living from YouTube isn't your main goal, why not at least make a little extra money from it, even if it's just a few $100s per month. If anything, it will just make you want to create even more content. Now, AdSense is a valuable monetization strategy, but it takes a while to become eligible, and even when you do, the numbers can be a little lackluster. By simply using affiliate links and recommending gear and other tools we use in our business, we double what we make from AdSense, and on top of that, by promoting our super affordable and super fun online course, 14-Day Filmmaker, we 7x what we make from AdSense, not to mention people who take our courses at ContentCreator.com become lifelong fans of the brand and become awesome testimonials, which only help us grow our brand and business even faster. So long story short, I challenge you to create a separate form of monetization other than AdSense. Create a course on a topic you're passionate about. Even easier, you can become an affiliate for another person's course that you already love and recommend. And it doesn't need to be courses. You can just start recommending products or software online that you love. Just remember to use affiliate links. And honestly, once your channel starts to gain a little bit more traction, you can actually reach out to companies directly and negotiate even better affiliate rates for yourself to make more money. The possibilities are honestly endless. Okay, enough with planning. Let's get on to the tips about actually filming our content. These hacks are all about making our videos more engaging and increasing the viewer retention, which is one of the single biggest factors that will get the algorithm to grant you with more impressions on your videos. If you are looking for a specific training on the more technical side of things like lighting, audio, composition, and that stuff, you can click somewhere up there. We've got a link to another video where we dive into the more technical aspects of content creation. Okay, up first, you need to change your location as often as you can. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably love building perfect YouTube setups where everything is exactly the way it should be. That's great, but you also have to keep your content looking fresh and new, and changing location is a great way to do that and keep your viewers on their toes. I'll usually write my script or list out all the talking points that I have, and then I'll write little notes to myself about where I plan on filming each section of the video. From there, I can just group everything together based on location and shoot them all at once. That way I minimize the amount of times I have to move my camera around, move my lights around, stuff like that. Personally, I like just taking my smartphone out, going to a new location, and recording a scene. It works wonders for retention, and it also goes to show that your message and the pacing of your content matters way more than however much money you spent on gear. P.S. We also teach how to film epic content using smartphones in our course, 14-Day Filmmaker. Up next, we have the 120% rule, which is super important for beginners. You see, when we first start creating content, naturally, most people come off a little more reserved than they actually are in real life. It's like a little vulnerability shield so that strangers on the internet won't judge us. So most people end up coming off as having 80% of the energy they normally would in real life, which can hurt the entertainment aspect of our videos because we kind of sound like a robot. Nobody wants to watch that. So the 120% rule gives us the target of being a little more energetic and emphatic than we might normally be on camera when we're first starting. Exaggerate facial expressions and hand gestures and give a little more oomph behind each word you deliver. Odds are you really won't be going crazy overboard, but that little extra push will bring your on-camera presence back to that 100% threshold that we're truly aiming for. Tip number 6, capture personalized B-roll. I'm sure you've seen them before. Motivational hiking up a mountain, dressed employee behind the computer, businessmen shaking hands, woman cries with ice cream. The most overused stock footage clips on planet Earth. Now, yes, there is definitely a time and place for stock footage, but if you can record your own personalized B-roll, your videos will stand out more and you'll keep your viewers engaged for longer. My process is usually to script and shoot the majority of the video, assemble the general timeline, and then sit back and watch with my notebook, writing a brief shot list of all the B-roll clips that I want to capture. The clips you're actually seeing on screen right now are a perfect example of this. As I was reviewing the timeline, I felt like more depth could be added by really showing the process of capturing personalized B-roll. Tip number 7 is to do what I'm about to do right now, which is to ask your viewers to subscribe to your channel. I call it capitalizing on the high notes of your videos. Whenever you feel you delivered a decent amount of value, don't let that engagement go to waste and actually ask your viewers to do something. Every study ever performed on YouTube growth points to the fact that if you actually ask people to subscribe, they are far more likely to actually do it. And unlike most people who wait until the very end of their video to ask, I recommend doing it about halfway through your video where engagement is significantly higher than at the very end. So please, if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Tip number 8 is to force yourself to take pauses while filming. Content fatigue is a real thing. And if you set the goal of reading through a script or just casually delivering a piece of content as fast as possible, you will lose energy in your delivery as the video progresses. In my scripts, I purposely leave gaps between paragraphs so that it forces my brain to register the pause, take a moment, breathe, and then continue on. I can also kind of collect my thoughts, look ahead in the script, and better prepare for what I'm about to say. Even if I didn't fully script out the video and I'm just going off a rough outline of bullet points, I always force myself to pause between each major bullet point in the script. That way I can take a moment, think about what I just said. I'll usually ask myself, could I have said that any better? At which point maybe I'll rewind and say the same point but in a much more clear and efficient manner. Once that box is checked, I'll then look forward to the next bullet point and I'll kind of collect my thoughts, plan my approach, and it just makes the video much better. All right, on to the editing category of tips. Number 9, focus on pacing. Live and die by the 5-second rule. It's probably apparent already, but video retention matters. YouTube wants to keep people on the platform for as long as possible. So the more your videos retain people, the more YouTube will reward you with greater impressions and more views on your content. Developing insanely good pacing is one of the many reasons why Mr. Beast is like the best YouTuber on planet Earth as far as I'm concerned. You literally cannot click away from his videos once you start watching them, and it has everything to do with the pacing of his edits. There is no time in his videos to take a second and breathe. It's literally a fire hose of visual and auditory stimulation. Now, that level of stimulation isn't really possible for us normal human beings, but if we follow the 5-second rule, all we have to do is make sure that something happens every 5 seconds to interrupt the pattern. Ideally, this would be a cutaway B-roll shot or a flashy graphic to keep those eyeballs stimulated, but it could also be a simple punch in of the camera or an even more subtle push-in keyframe. Like I said, these are called pattern interrupts, and it's a psychological tactic to keep the people stimulated and engaged because they always feel like there's something new coming around the corner. This is directly connected to tip number 10, which is to develop a brand style with your titles, your graphics, and your cutaways. Your brand is going to be very fluid when you first start. You've got to figure some stuff out for yourself and try a variety of different things to get an idea of what actually works for you. No one style is better than another, but try to keep things consistent as you edit a single video. In Premiere Pro, I've been a huge fan of using animated backgrounds like this combined with animated text pop-ups. There are templates you can use for these. They're called motion graphic templates. I get most of mine from contentcreatortemplates.com, but there are plenty of sites online that you can use for this stuff. DaVinci Resolve and Final Cut Pro also support their own types of templates. CapCut is another awesome editing program for both phones and desktops, and it has plenty of built-in options as well. Now, if that terrifies you, you're not a huge editor and you don't want to learn all this custom animation stuff, you can just get creative with the way you film and capture your own B-roll style graphics like I have throughout this video with the drop-down shots where I'm just writing stuff on a notebook. Whichever you choose, just try to really use them as much as you can to keep the frame as visually stimulating as possible. And the longer you keep that style over time, it's going to contribute to your brand and the style growing and people actually recognizing you for the style of content you create. Now, tip number 11 is to remove breath marks. This is another pacing tip, but it is crucial to understand. 80% of YouTube viewers watch content at a faster rate than normal. This goes to show that most people want the content that they're watching to be as efficient as possible. Removing long breath marks and pauses increases the pace of your videos, and each cut in the video caused by removing a breath mark also serves as an easy excuse to punch in after the cut, which serves as a little pattern interrupt to keep the videos engaging. I actually found a program online called TimeBolt that automatically scans through your clips, detects the breath marks, and removes them along with other long pauses in the video, which has been a huge time saver for me compared to manually going through each second of the video and cutting out all the pauses. Tip number 12 is to fake the multicam look. So like I mentioned a second ago, every long breath, pause, or mistake I need to delete in the A-roll is an opportunity to punch in on the video to make it look like we almost have two separate cameras filming. Personally, I will cut up my entire talking head clip, select every other clip, and then drop a preset I made that punches in by 20%. Just make sure you adjust the clips to keep the eyes of your subject in the same general part of the frame. Otherwise, it won't really look that natural. Once you get that dialed in, you should be able to, again, just copy and paste that subtle shift across all of the clips that had the punch in. Now, to take this to another level, I noticed one of my favorite YouTubers, Graham Stephan, he actually flips a clip, basically mirroring it, which makes it look like he's recording from an entirely different angle, which again serves as an even larger pattern interrupt than that simple punch in that I normally do. Another very subtle but powerful tip coming in at number 13. Keyframe motion as much as you can without being distracting. You may have noticed throughout this video that so many of these scenes, even though the camera is just on a tripod, there's a little bit of movement pulling you in or pushing out from the frame. And if you look at our channel as a whole, almost every successful video we have starts with a hook where it appears that camera is pushing in ever so slowly. 99% of the time, the camera is just on a tripod, stationary, but in the editing room, I've keyframed the scale parameter in Premiere Pro to slowly increase as the clip progresses. Now, you can easily do this in any editing program on planet Earth. It's crazy how small this seems, but slow push-ins and pull-outs are two of the most powerful camera movements in cinema because they work very well at conveying emotion without being distracting. The push-in and pull-out keyframes really add to the suspense, they build curiosity, and they keep the frame dynamic. Okay, number 14, use sound effects throughout your videos. Audio is such a crucial part of the viewing experience, and with every graphic that pops up on screen, every little card that slides in over the frame, every action on the screen that normally relates with motion or any other sound, they should all have their own unique sound effects. Again, start watching the videos from popular creators. Really focus on the use of sound design, and I guarantee you will be blown away with how much attention to detail they have in their sound design. Like my motion graphics, I download 95% of my sound effects from contentcreatortemplates.com, which, if you didn't know, is a platform our team at contentcreator.com actually created for our students. If you want to download all the same templates and sound effects that I use, I'll include a link beneath this video to a sale that's running where it literally costs like $1 to get started as a member. And that does it for this installment of YouTube growth hacks to blow up your channel extremely fast. Now, if you are still watching this video, I imagine it's because you want to go all in on YouTube. These hacks will absolutely help you grow your channel, but you still need to deeply understand the technical process of shooting and editing professional looking content. At contentcreator.com, we have the world's single most popular and streamlined online course that teaches everything a person could need to know about shooting and editing cinematic videos. It doesn't matter if you shoot on an iPhone, an Android, a professional camera like Canon or Sony. It doesn't even matter if you have absolutely no experience whatsoever, because this program starts from the ground up. But 14 days later, you will know the proper camera settings, how to light professional looking content on a budget, which apps are the best for phones and computers, the right gear to buy depending on the specific type of content you plan on shooting, how to record and edit audio, find sound effects and music for your videos. We even have full training series built out for all of the major editing programs like Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, After Effects, and we even have smartphone editing apps covered like VN Video Editor, LumaFusion, and CapCut. And if you do plan to use those professional apps like any of the Adobe products, all of our students actually get 60% off the Adobe Creative Cloud. So that's Premiere Pro, After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, 60% off all that, which pays for the course like 10 times over. There's more in this course than I could ever cover in a quick YouTube video, and best of all, it's the most affordable online course that teaches people everything that they need to know to become a content creator. The link to check out that program and learn more is in the description beneath this video. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.